based on a true story. We're back, season 2. Thank you for all the love on season 1, and we are about to begin season 2. Cheers.
No way, no time, no place better than where I live. No way, no time, better believe it. And this fact is me. Oh.
This episode is called I Got You. So, the last place we left off is I had sent the record, a rhythm, up to a writer, and he had sent me back a song called Sweet for Days. I liked the song, don't get me wrong. I thought the song had a lot of potential. However, there were certain words in the song that didn't match with the culture of the way we said things in Antigua.
A few months prior to the release of Sweet for Days, I actually heard the song from Ricardo. I remember him not being too sold on it.
The writer then sent the song to Patrice. Now initially in the beginning, when I first got the song, I had asked Patrice what her opinion was on the song, and she told me, well, she didn't think it was all that.
Couple months passed and I clearly forgot about the song, and it presented itself. And I remember my team being really, really excited about it, so I decided to take the opportunity to try it. I went to Red Boys, they loved it, they created the music, and I released the song.
And then shortly after, she released the song, so I was pretty shocked. Nonetheless, Patsy and we spoke about it.
With us not being in a good frame of mind, I really didn't call him about it.
I felt, how did I feel, man? I felt a bit hurt that, she didn't even reach out to me and say, well, Rick, I really made a mistake. I liked the song and I should have told you something. But we worked that out. So all good. The song comes and it blows up for her. So now, with everything that was going on with the breakup song, now people are starting to throw all the shade at me. It becomes this, now she's big. Now she was always big. She was always a class artist, but now she's reached a level that she's untouchable, in my opinion. It became one of those things where, people were starting to throw their shade, not really knowing the relationship Patrice and I had. And at that point in time, as I had explained to you all in season 1, I was already going through so much emotions at that time with how I was being treated with the breakup song, that it was just a bag of emotions that just didn't make any sense. It was too much. But I kept pushing through the season. The season comes, it's over, thank God, we made it through. But I knew that the season coming up would have been rough. Everybody that had been around me at this point in time is now gone. I'm legit down to about 3 or 4 people that are in my corner.
I remember meeting Ricardo a couple of years ago, and I remember one thing telling Drue, I was like, Drue, I wish I could have been in that position, you in where a lot of people get to know you, get to be on these stages, you get to do certain things. I was watching and still working to get to that point. I always wanted to be a part of it, but I used to watch how Drue operates also and how Drue was doing his thing, that year with Professional and Vagabond and ID and these years where he was flying high and doing what he had to do, was times I used to watch and just everybody around you. That industry is an industry where sometimes you get people around you when you're hot, and other times when it's rough you can't find them. I remember there are people that I used to see around Drue, entourage big, and then when it started to go downhill, you couldn't find these people again. It hurt because I was like, it can't be like that, what I mean? It can't be that way sometimes. It really hurts, and you can bring down your spirit.
I'm frustrated. I can't create. I don't know what to do. What am I going to do this season, upcoming season? So I run into this writer by the name of Jus D. I called him up on a Thursday and I said, hey, what are you doing? Come to Antigua, let's do some work. And we had a rhythm from Bubba. I believe the rhythm was called the Rocket Launcher. Now the rhythm kept kicking my backside. I didn't know what to write. I didn't know how to feel about it. So we went in studio on Friday, didn't work. Went in studio on Saturday, didn't work. Myself, Burger, Jus D. And then Sunday morning, I get up at like 10 o'clock and Jus D's in the room, in the living room, and he's like, yo, I got it. And he starts singing, cause when we link up it's bacchanal, run to the bacchanal. Now Jus D had seen everything that was going on with me at the time. Like he legit had seen everything.
So basically what I saw, you know, was a person who was high energy on stage, mashing up events, whatever the case may be. But when that was all done, transforming back into this depressed person in this dark place, you know, trying to figure out what's the next step, you know, like where it went wrong, whatever the case may be. You know, we would be back in the van heading to a different gig and the energy would just be down, you know, it'd just be silent. You know, even back at the headquarters, I would be in my section, he in his section. And even when we would try to vibe, it just wasn't working out. The energy was just so low, man. But at the same time, you know, there were always, you know, this handful of people that was just always there, regardless of what was going on, what was happening, or what was about to happen. You know, they were just always there, you know, when he needed them. You know, so I felt like that in itself, you know, kind of like helped me to come up with the whole idea, I got you. You know, because like that's what real friends do. You know, when somebody down, you don't kick them. You know, you hold on the fort. As we would say back home, you know, if this body sucks salt, you know, we suck salt too. If they win, we win. That's how it going down. You know, so all of that was just in my head at the time when I was trying to figure out this tune.
So he started singing this song to me. And I was like, yeah, man, I like that. And at that time, I only had 3 or 4 people around me. So I started to think to myself, well, I want to sing a song about these people that really helped me down. So we came up with I Got You. We went through the entire Antigua season now, because Antigua's after Trinidad, of course. And I Got You did not connect at all in Antigua. It took a long time for people to connect with it. It connected with people the Sunday before Carnival, and we were pushing it real hard. So we do this video, and this video is showing love and it's showing, you know, unity and friendship, and I even put some of the friends in the video that even left me hanging at the time, just because, you know, they were there for me at a certain point in time, so I appreciated it. So we start making the Trinidad push, and it's not working out. People are just not on me. They're not on the brand. They're not on what I'm trying to do. They believe that they have to just lock this off.
I remember around that time also, when I had Vent, Drue and I was going through similar situations, personal situations, so we could have understood where each other was coming from, and we used to encourage each other a lot, you know, because it's a lot to have a lot of personal stress, you know, and then you have to stand up in front of an audience, you have to stand up in front of a crowd. It's rough. You don't know about that.
I'm lost. I'm lost. And then Patrice starts to notice what's going on. At Uber, she comes and she says, hey, you know, I realize you're not yourself. And then Patsy decided within herself, and you know, I appreciate her even more now for this, but at that time she decided, you know what, Rick, you have been so supportive of what I've been doing, because that season before, when she had Sweet for Days, I would have gone on every stage, regardless of what people had to say, regardless of how good we were or were not at the time, and I would make sure that my push for that road march would have been her. And I would make sure hey, I let everybody know y'all need to support Patsy for Road March. Not that she needed my support, but I just wanted her to know that I was supporting her. So she decided, you know what? They're not messing with you. They're not supporting you. Here's what I'm gonna do. You can come with me and you can perform with me on my shows. Now, of course, as a man and as somebody that would have had shows the year before and the year before that and doing 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 shows a day to nothing, it was really hard for me at the time to swallow my pride and say, okay, well, maybe this would work. So I went to a few shows with her. I decided not to perform just because the pride was there. And then after a while, one of my team members, he was like, look, man, it's best you take this opportunity and try to make the best of it. So I rolled with Patsy that season. And I kid you not, I performed at every show I could. And legitimately the passion inside of me, the feeling inside of me where that song was concerned, it was so deep that the message that I was putting across in the performance was just like, it was just of like genuine, like a genuine energy for it, because I was legitimately talking about these people that had my back at the time. And of course now that would have included Patsy, because when everybody else failed, she was a person that was also there. So I performed, and everywhere I went, we would get the people to enjoy themselves. We would make sure at that point in time, wherever I was performing, if you didn't look at your friend and say, hey, you know, I love you, I got you, then that person wasn't really your friend. And it still didn't work. It then turned into, I was using her. You know, now the talk was, because I didn't get the bookings like I would have gotten in the past, now I'm using her to get where I wanted to go. When people in all actuality and reality didn't even know that I really didn't want to do it. She looked out, but John Public just was not having it, man. They were not having it at all. So one day I looked at Patrice and I said, hey, you know, wow, that's loud. Thank you for everything that you did over this season. I really appreciate it. I saw the difference in her that season. But I said to her, you know, even with all that we're doing at this point, I still don't feel like it's gonna change. So said, so done. I would have had to go through another 1.5 or 2 years of struggle before I would even start to get back on my feet. And it wasn't just necessarily because of that situation, but because of the feeling that I was experiencing at the time. I couldn't create. I didn't know what I was looking for. I was being picky. I was just all over the place, man. So it just didn't work out. But I say all of that to say, man, that God puts you in certain situations for you to see who your real friends are, for you to see who your real supporters are. He puts people in your lives for you to see who needs to stay and who needs to go. And then it's up to you to make that decision. So if you have a friend, if you have a family member, if you have a loved one that you haven't spoken to in a long time, and you may have pushed them off as somebody that just came, I want you to take this time to pick up the phone and just let them know, hey, I got you, man, and thank you for having me. And to all my friends out there that had my back in Trinidad, to all my friends that had my back in Antigua, to all my friends that had my back all over the world, man, I thank you. And I got you just as much as you got me. Yes, people, I want to say thank you for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And also, of course, follow me on all social media platforms at It's Drue, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all at It's Drue, ITSDRUE, and Homesick, the album is available now. Go get it. Much love. See you in next episode. Alright, it's Drue. Bang.